As people age, one of the most significant factors that influence their social behavior is the natural decline in physical health and stamina. Many older adults face chronic health conditions, such as arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, or respiratory problems, which can limit their mobility and overall energy levels. These physical challenges often make socializing more difficult and tiring than it was in younger years. For example, simple activities like attending social gatherings, going out for walks with friends, or even traveling to visit family members can become physically exhausting. Joint pain, fatigue, shortness of breath, or slower recovery times mean that older adults may need to conserve their limited energy. This conservation often leads to more selective participation in social events, favoring shorter or less physically demanding interactions. Additionally, sensory impairments, like hearing loss or vision problems, can also affect an older adult's willingness to engage socially. Difficulty hearing conversations in noisy environments or struggling to see facial expressions can make social settings frustrating or overwhelming. These sensory barriers sometimes lead older adults to avoid group situations where communication feels challenging or stressful. Medication side effects further contribute to reduced energy and motivation. Many seniors take multiple prescriptions daily, some of which may cause drowsiness, dizziness, or general fatigue. Managing these side effects can reduce their desire or ability to be socially active, as they may feel weak or unwell for parts of the day. Moreover, the recovery time after physical exertion tends to lengthen with age. After engaging in social activities that require standing, walking, or speaking for extended periods, older adults may need more time to rest and recuperate. This slower recovery discourages frequent or lengthy social engagements, prompting a preference for quieter, more manageable interactions. In some cases, mobility aids like canes, walkers, or wheelchairs are necessary, which can also influence social participation. The need for assistance or special accommodations might cause some older adults to feel self-conscious or dependent, making them less likely to seek out social opportunities where they feel vulnerable or awkward. It's important to understand that this physical limitation is not a reflection of a desire to be isolated or lonely, but rather a realistic adjustment to the body's changing capabilities. By reducing their social outings, older adults are often protecting their health and well-being, allowing them to enjoy interactions in a way that is sustainable and comfortable for them. Family members and caregivers can support this by encouraging and facilitating social activities that match the older adult's physical abilities, such as small, quiet gatherings, home visits, or virtual chats. Recognizing and respecting these physical health limitations helps maintain positive social connections without overexerting the individual. In summary, the reduction in physical energy due to health challenges, sensory impairments, medication effects, and longer recovery times is a natural and common reason why many older adults avoid frequent or demanding social interactions. This behavior is an adaptive strategy to maintain health and comfort, rather than a sign of emotional withdrawal or disinterest in others. As people age, their emotional priorities tend to shift significantly, influencing how and with whom they choose to spend their time. One of the most common reasons older adults avoid large social circles or frequent interactions is that they become more selective about their relationships, focusing on those that are truly meaningful and fulfilling. This emotional shift is a natural part of the aging process and reflects a deeper understanding of what brings joy and satisfaction in life. Research in psychology, particularly socio-emotional selectivity theory, shows that as individuals grow older and become more aware of their limited time, they increasingly value emotionally rewarding relationships over casual or superficial ones. Older adults tend to invest their time and energy in family members, close friends, and people who provide genuine support, companionship, and positive experiences. This prioritization helps them cultivate a sense of emotional well-being and reduces feelings of stress or dissatisfaction that can come from maintaining too many social ties. This selective approach also means that older adults may withdraw from acquaintances or social groups that don't add meaningful value to their lives. They might stop attending large parties, community events, or gatherings where they don't feel a strong emotional connection. Instead, they prefer smaller, more intimate settings where conversations feel authentic and interactions are more personal. This change is not about loneliness, but about quality over quantity in social engagement. Additionally, emotional shifts with aging often involve a greater focus on peace, comfort, and emotional safety. Many older adults have experienced significant life changes such as the loss of loved ones, retirement, or health challenges. These experiences can increase the desire to avoid conflict, negativity, or emotionally draining interactions. As a result, they tend to steer clear of people or situations that cause stress, preferring to surround themselves with positivity and emotional security. Another aspect of this emotional change is increased self-awareness and acceptance. Older adults often have a clearer sense of who they are and what they want from their relationships. This clarity allows them to set boundaries more firmly and say no to social obligations that don't align with their emotional needs or values. This helps preserve their mental health and happiness. Moreover, the emotional rewards of meaningful relationships can significantly impact older adults' overall health. Positive social connections have been shown to reduce the risk of depression, cognitive decline, and even physical illness. Thus, investing emotionally in close, supportive relationships is a protective factor that encourages older adults to focus on these key connections rather than spreading themselves thin. In summary, emotional shifts in older adults lead them to prioritize meaningful relationships while avoiding casual or draining social interactions. This is a completely normal and healthy adaptation that helps preserve their emotional well-being, allowing them to enjoy deeper connections and greater life satisfaction. Far from being a sign of social withdrawal, it reflects wisdom and intentionality in managing social life during later years. One of the most profound reasons many older adults begin to avoid social interactions as they age is the natural and often painful experience of losing peers and loved ones. This loss profoundly impacts their social world, leading to a natural tendency toward withdrawal as friends, spouses, and family members pass away. The social circle that once provided companionship and shared experiences becomes smaller, leaving many seniors feeling isolated or uncertain about how to engage socially. The death of close friends and partners is one of the most significant life changes in later years. For many older adults, their social connections have been built over decades, making these relationships deeply meaningful. When a spouse or longtime friend passes, it's not just the loss of companionship but also the loss of a shared history, daily routines, and emotional support. This loss can leave a void that is hard to fill, resulting in a reluctance or emotional difficulty to seek out new relationships or participate in social activities. Grieving can also take a toll on the desire to socialize. The process of mourning often involves feelings of sadness, loneliness, and sometimes depression. During this time, many older adults may prefer solitude or smaller, more intimate interactions over larger social gatherings. They might feel out of place or emotionally vulnerable around people who don't share their loss or who remind them of happier times now gone. Furthermore, the passing of peers means that opportunities for socializing naturally declined. Many older adults' friends are within the same age group and may face their own health challenges or mobility issues. As a result, social events become less frequent, and the pool of familiar people to connect with shrinks. This decrease in available companions can make socializing less appealing or accessible, encouraging seniors to retreat into more solitary lifestyles. In addition to grief and reduced opportunities, there is often a psychological component to social withdrawal after losing peers. Older adults may fear forming new relationships because of the potential pain of losing more loved ones. This fear can cause hesitation or avoidance in making new social bonds, as the emotional risk feels too high. The protective mechanism of withdrawal helps minimize the chances of experiencing repeated loss and grief. It's also important to note that societal changes can contribute to this isolation. Older adults might find that their social environment has shifted. Children move away, communities become less close-knit, or they relocate to assisted living or retirement communities. These changes can disrupt established social networks, making it more difficult to maintain or rebuild friendships. However, while loss often triggers social withdrawal, it is a natural and understandable response rather than a sign of emotional failure or apathy. Many seniors still deeply value connection and companionship but may need time to heal and adjust before they feel ready to engage again. Encouraging gentle social interaction that respects their pace and emotional state can help rebuild their social lives over time. As people age, many older adults develop an increased need for. As people age, cognitive changes naturally occur, and these shifts can significantly influence how older adults engage socially. While many seniors maintain sharp minds well into advanced age, normal cognitive aging can affect memory, processing speed, attention, and problem-solving abilities. These changes impact not only the ability to participate comfortably in social settings but also the preferences for types and amounts of social interaction. One common cognitive change is slower information processing. Older adults may find it takes longer to follow fast-paced conversations, especially in groups where multiple people talk at once or the discussion jumps quickly between topics. This can make social interactions overwhelming or frustrating, leading them to avoid large gatherings or busy social events. Instead, they often prefer smaller groups or one-on-one conversations where communication is clearer and easier to follow. Memory lapses also play a role. Difficulty recalling names, recent events, or details shared during conversations can cause embarrassment or anxiety in social situations. This fear of forgetting important information or seeming inattentive can discourage older adults from engaging as actively or frequently. To protect their self-esteem, they might choose to limit social interactions to familiar people or settings where they feel more comfortable and less judged. Attention span and the ability to stay focused can also diminish with age. Social environments that require sustained attention, such as noisy parties or crowded events, can become mentally exhausting. This cognitive fatigue prompts older adults to seek quieter, less stimulating social activities where they can relax without feeling overwhelmed or distracted. Executive functions, which include planning, organizing, and multitasking, may decline as well. These skills are important for navigating complex social situations like coordinating schedules, managing conversations, or adapting to unexpected changes in group dynamics. Reduced executive function can make socializing feel more challenging or stressful, encouraging a preference for simpler, more predictable interactions. However, these cognitive changes don't mean older adults want to avoid social connection altogether. In fact, social engagement has been shown to support brain health and cognitive function by stimulating thinking, memory, and emotional processing. The key is that older adults adapt their social activities to fit their cognitive comfort zone. They may prefer familiar routines, consistent groups, or activities that allow for slower, more thoughtful interaction. Additionally, some older adults might choose to engage more in activities that are cognitively enriching but less socially demanding, such as reading, puzzles, or creative hobbies. These pursuits provide mental stimulation without the stress of complex social navigation. It's also important to consider that cognitive decline can sometimes be linked to conditions like mild cognitive impairment or early dementia, which further affect social preferences. In these cases, the need for supportive, understanding social environments becomes even more critical to help maintain quality of life and emotional well-being. In summary, cognitive changes with aging influence older adults' social engagement by affecting their comfort, confidence, and ability to participate in different types of interactions. These changes lead many to prefer smaller, quieter, and more familiar social settings that align with their cognitive needs. Recognizing and accommodating these preferences helps foster meaningful connections and supports healthy aging. As people age, their social preferences often evolve from valuing a wide circle of acquaintances towards seeking deeper, more meaningful relationships. This shift reflects a natural and healthy change in priorities, where quality becomes far more important than quantity in social connections. Older adults increasingly recognize that genuine emotional bonds provide greater satisfaction and support than numerous casual interactions. In earlier stages of life, many people focus on expanding their social networks, meeting new people, and engaging in a variety of social activities. However, as time passes, older adults tend to appreciate the depth and substance of relationships rather than the breadth. This is partly due to the recognition that life is finite, and investing time in relationships that truly matter brings more emotional fulfillment. Deeper connections often involve long-standing friendships and close family ties. Relationships built on years of shared experiences, trust, and understanding. These relationships provide a sense of continuity and emotional security, which is especially valuable as other parts of life change or become uncertain. For older adults, maintaining and nurturing these core connections can lead to greater happiness and a feeling of being truly known and valued. Another reason older adults prioritize quality over quantity is the emotional energy involved in socializing. Meaningful relationships typically require less effort to maintain because there is mutual understanding and acceptance. Conversations flow more naturally, and there is less pressure to impress or explain oneself. This ease of connection is comforting and reduces social fatigue. Moreover, meaningful relationships often provide more reliable emotional support. When older adults face challenges such as health issues, loss, or loneliness, these close bonds offer a dependable source of comfort and assistance. Casual acquaintances, while pleasant, usually do not offer the same level of care or commitment, making them less valuable during difficult times. This preference for quality connections also influences social behavior. Older adults may decline invitations to large social gatherings or events where they feel disconnected or superficial. Instead, they seek out smaller, more intimate settings with people they trust and enjoy. This selectivity helps preserve their emotional well-being and allows them to focus on what truly enriches their lives. Psychologically, this shift can be understood through socio-emotional selectivity theory, which suggests that as people become more aware of their limited time, they prioritize emotionally meaningful goals and relationships. This theory explains why older adults invest more in close relationships and less in expanding their social circles. In addition to emotional benefits, prioritizing quality connections has practical advantages. It reduces social overwhelm and allows seniors to allocate their time and energy wisely, balancing social interaction with rest and self-care. This balanced approach supports both mental and physical health. In summary, the desire for deeper, quality connections over a large quantity of social contacts is a natural and positive change in older adults. It reflects their evolving understanding of what truly matters in relationships, emotional depth, trust, and mutual support. Honoring this preference helps older adults maintain fulfilling social lives that enhance their overall well-being and happiness. As people age, many experience an increase in social anxiety or discomfort, which can lead to avoiding social situations more frequently. This is a common and understandable development influenced by various physical, emotional, and psychological changes that occurred during later life stages. One factor contributing to increased social anxiety is changes in physical appearance and health. Aging often brings visible changes such as wrinkles, weight fluctuations, hearing loss, or mobility challenges. These changes can make older adults self-conscious or worried about how others perceive them, leading to feelings of embarrassment or insecurity in social settings. For instance, difficulty hearing conversations clearly or struggling to keep up physically in group activities can heighten anxiety and create a sense of being out of place. Cognitive changes, including slower thinking or memory lapses, may also exacerbate social discomfort. Older adults might fear forgetting names, repeating themselves, or misunderstanding conversations, which can cause stress or embarrassment. This fear of making social mistakes sometimes results in avoiding gatherings where they anticipate such challenges. Another source of increased social anxiety is the experience of past negative social interactions. Over a lifetime, some older adults may have faced criticism, rejection, or misunderstandings that have left lasting emotional scars. These experiences can make them wary of new social situations, fearing similar outcomes. Loss of close friends or family members may also lead to feelings of vulnerability and hesitation to form new connections. In addition, the transition to retirement or reduced social roles can alter an older adult's social identity. Leaving a workplace or community role means losing familiar social networks and routines, which can cause uncertainty and discomfort in new social environments. Without the daily social interactions they once had, some seniors may feel less confident in navigating social situations, increasing anxiety. Physical health issues such as chronic pain, fatigue, or medication side effects may also contribute to discomfort in social settings. When feeling unwell or tired, the prospect of engaging with others can seem overwhelming, prompting avoidance. Moreover, societal attitudes toward aging sometimes foster stereotypes that can impact self-esteem and social confidence. Older adults might internalize negative beliefs about their relevance, capabilities, or appearance, which can increase anxiety about how they will be received by others. This internalized ageism can discourage participation in social activities. Despite these challenges, it's important to recognize that social anxiety in older adults is not inevitable and can be managed. Support